And welcome to a very happy Ibrox after Rangers have just about beaten St Mirren. My name's Ian Mitchell. I'm joined by Tommy Cunningham, and we're going to go through the game. Good points, bad points, scary points, and reflect on what has been a very positive night for Rangers. Again, something we've not said too often this season. Tommy, it's your first time in the gantry, obviously. How have you enjoyed that, and how have you enjoyed this 90 minutes in front of you?
You must have picked the coldest night for me to be on the gantry. It's 0 degrees, I think, tonight. So it's very, very cool. You can actually see my breath when I'm talking there. No, but nice to be here. It's a little bit different, first time experiencing it. It's very cool. There's a very good view that you get up here as well.
From the great football that we're watching.
Well,
yeah.
The wonderful football that was on display.
Yes, let's talk about that football. So we'll go right back to the start, as we always do. The lineups came through about 6:30 tonight, and I was terrified, not going to lie. Dujon Sterling wasn't there. Majowski's nowhere to be seen. Connor Barron was on the bench, and the bench itself was ugly, to say the least. What did you think of the lineup? Again, we'll go right back to it. It's not the best, is it?
No, not really. And I think if anybody missed it, we tweeted earlier that the Barron decision and the Sterling decision was with a look ahead to Saturday's game as well. So, but yeah, I think you could tell that from the team lineup that there was kind of one eye on the weekend. I didn't really think we had enough maybe to get us through and win with that lineup. But I've got to say, like, players that I wasn't happy that were playing, like Chermiti, I think really did kind of show a little bit about himself tonight that we've not seen so far. And you could see that from very early on. The way that he was holding the ball up was different to what we've seen from him so far.
Well, the fact he was holding the ball.
Well, the fact that and he was very involved. He was coming very deep, and so when I saw the team lineup, I wasn't really too optimistic. But we predicted a very close game on Sunday's pod, so I think that's what we saw today as well.
Yep.
Tonight.
I am trying to bring up some comments. Keep them coming in by all means, but every time I have to do that, I have to take my gloves off, and it's not worth doing tonight. So, into the game itself, well, actually, not even into the game itself. We had a minute silence, which 50 odd seconds was perfectly observed before one of the St Mirren fans chucked out, "Come on, St Mirren," or something. Credit to St Mirren fans, the rest of them, because they pointed him out, got him out the ground, or got him sort of huckled away by police in some sense. So really good, impressed to see that, because it's like some away fans can have that mentality kind of thing against that. So fair play to them. But into the game itself, finally, it was a decent start for Rangers without doing anything goal threatening, I'll say. I think we've had enough games at Ibrox this season where we've been the second best team for the first part of the game, especially was that against Motherwell, whereas tonight we're releasing the front foot from the get-go. Yeah,
we were tidy enough. Probably maybe not quick enough in the final third, but kind of in terms of retention of the ball, it was good. But yeah, we definitely grew into it a little bit. What did you think about kind of like the start and the way St Mirren set up as well? They were very time wasting, wasn't it, from the kind of early on?
The intentions were set as you kind of expect, and to be fair, a lot of teams have came here this season without fear and without that time wasting side of it. Whereas St Mirren came here straight away. Every throw in was an extra 20 seconds. Goal kicks were the same. They're stealing yards. Just the classic away team at Ibrox try to frustrate things, but I don't think it got the better of us at any point. I think maybe we're a bit not streetwise for some of it, letting them steal the yards and things like that. But again, at my notes, there's not a lot in there in terms of chances. There was one where Raskin gets to the byline and can't find a cutback. That's it. The next notes about St Mirren and the long throws, because we said it right at the start, they're a massive team. Like every player on that team is about 6'4" except Declan John, so they are a threat. But we handled it pretty well. Most things that were thrown at us.
Yeah, I thought Suter and Fernandez were really good kind of in the air tonight, which was going to be important, because that's obviously one of the strengths of St Mirren as well. I think obviously one of their strikers came off injured as well, which probably could have helped us a little bit there.
We'll talk about that substitute as well, the chaos.
It was a bit chaotic. Yeah, I didn't really know what was going on with that one. But yeah, I thought Fernandez was obviously, his height is a big advantage, but his leap as well on some of the headers that he was winning. Suter as well came in really kind of dominant in the air too. So
I think that helped Fernandez, actually, having someone like Suter who's experienced, and people say Souttar's not a great leader and maybe needs that leadership beside himself, but I thought it was a bit more solid back there. They won their headers, they won their tackles, they got the ball away when they should have. I wasn't that fussed about Souttar coming back, which I was more excited because we now have some numbers back there rather than the actual player coming back. But he looks a lot slimmer, looks fitter. He
did look slimmer. He looked a lot slimmer.
There was a joke midweek that he's on Manjaro. He has lost a good bit of weight, and I think he was so stocky because he was never like fat. It was just rugby players build. Whereas tonight he just looks a bit slicker, a bit faster, and he was really good. So fair credit to him. There was that substitute kind of mess that we talked about, the St Mirren boy who was coming on, just ran on the pitch without the ref or linesman seeing him at first.
The board for the numbers wasn't even up or nothing. He just literally top on and ran onto the park for whatever reason.
Very amateur football of that. So, but that sort of angered the crowd.
I must say what maybe angered the crowd before was their boy went down injured at the other side to the park from us here and walked, rather than coming off the opposite side, which is what should happen, walks all the way to this side.
It's getting ready.
The slowest walk ever, and I think that's initially what got the crowd riled up. And I think from there, we kind of got a bit from that, really, to be honest, because we really put the pressure on there to the point where I was watching it thinking we're going to score here, which is not really a feeling that I've had a lot this season, And I was sitting watching it thinking we've got a goal in us here in the next 5-10 minutes. The momentum that we got from that,
and the goal came, which is always nice. A short corner, and as soon as we took it short, most of us said, why are we going short? We've got Fernandez in there, get it in there. But Magoma plays it to Tavernier, little layoff to Magoma. Good cross, very good header. It's an underrated header, I think, by Asgard, because if he misses, he should score. I get that totally, but he does have to just sort of cutely get his head on it. It's not like a powerful one. It's just, again, Asgard, just like the weekend, right place, right time, and he now has 2 goals and 2.
Yeah, and I think there's an assist in there as well. Is he not getting an assist too? You're saying, so. Yeah, absolutely. And if you told me tonight that we had to score 2 goals and the goal scorers were Fernandez and Asgard, one was a header, one was with their feet, I wouldn't have predicted what came from that tonight. So, but there's not an awful lot of pace on the cross, I didn't think so. Asgard still has a lot to do with it, and I think you've got to get that accurate to get that into the goal as well. It's a difficult header, like you said. It looks straightforward, but I don't think it is. And let's say it's good to see him getting. I think after that goal, he had a bit of confidence. You said it as well. You said you thought he had a bit of confidence about him after that goal. It's maybe what he needs to kind of kickstart him,
Yeah, he was actually asking for the ball.
Yeah,
moving into space to get the ball. A couple of flicks, tricks here and there, things that you thought when he first joined, and what we are hearing about him in training and what he's done at Luton and Wigan. He's got the tools to be a very good player.
Yeah,
he just needs a bit of confidence. Again, he done the press conference after the game on Saturday and said about he's trying to learn to be a Rangers player. Moments like that help. Just gets the fans off his back.
Yeah, absolutely.
Same idea as Chimiti. Didn't score, but contributed.
Yeah, absolutely.
Get the fans clapping. Chimiti got a standing ovation coming off the pitch.
I was up.
Coming.
I gave him my clap. Done my bit.
We also, just after that, Moore had a shot which is on the half volley. I think the goalie makes a bit of a meal of it.
I think it did deflect up, maybe. It was one of the kind of looping ones, wasn't it?
Yep, but it's all Rangers. And again, going to half time 1-0. Would have taken that all day, obviously. Yep. Any sort of positive. No half time drama this week. Didn't hear anyone on the half time draw, so nothing to report there this time. But second half, a few things to get through here. So just go note by note. We have Souttar, a chance for St Mirren where I thought Souttar was fouled. Ref plays on. Don't know if he's going to bring it back. One of those ones. It basically leads to a Jack Butland. I'm going to call it a wonder save. He has no right to save it.
It looked like a very good save from here, yeah.
The boys then offside after it, but it would have counted if it went in. And obviously we'll come on to something else Jack Butland does. It's very good late in the game, but it's very important for this team to have Jack Butland in good form.
Yeah, absolutely. Yeah, and we've seen it the last few games. This is the kind of Jack Butland we got initially, wasn't it? When he first joined, and then he kind of had that drop off, kind of really around the time where we were in the title challenge. And what I'm hoping now is that he keeps this form up, and now that we are maybe looking like going into a title challenge again, that we don't get that drop off again from him.
Yep, it's very, very important. We had a couple of subs at this point, and I think there's a bit of a theme with every sub that we make. We get a little bit worse, I think. Obviously, start with your strongest team, and I said it right at the start, the bench was not very strong tonight, so every sub was a bit of a problem. But I had Aarons and Barron come on, and obviously Barron is fine, but Aaron's coming on for Mikey Moore and Asgard. Again, a bit of a night of the weekend, I think, for that one. We knew Moore had an illness at the start of the week, so understandable he wasn't going to play the full game. The next chance was a JD Gassama run and deflected shot. He was one who, a bit quiet tonight.
Yeah.
After the weekend, he was good in the second half last week, but a bit quiet tonight. This was the only real moment that I can think of.
Yeah, I don't think he necessarily done bad. It was maybe just kind of like a standard 6 out of 10 performance, really. But I think the good thing for it tonight is we've had plenty of games where we've been kind of Gassama's the only one that's creating, whereas tonight, you know, we didn't really need him to. We had other players kind of step up in these moments, which is good because we need that across the board and not just heavily reliant on one player to create chances. So we definitely kind of needed more from others, you know, which was good.
Yeah, that's the thing. If Gassama's not firing, at least someone else is.
Yeah.
Whether it's Asgard, whether it's Fernandez, whether someone else can step up. It's going to happen. Well, these guys, these players aren't good enough to be superstars every week. Otherwise, they'd be nowhere near us. So needs must. It then gets a little bit sour. There's a VAR check out of absolutely nowhere that I can remember. Again, I've not seen it back. I can't comment on.
Just for the penalty, you missed the goal. I was about to say. I think the subs were made after we were 2-0 up, weren't we? Because I was thinking we probably went a bit too defensive there.
Yeah, that shows. I was too busy celebrating to write it down, but there is a goal before that, so it's not all bad. The much maligned Yusuf Chamiti finds himself on the wing. He kind of found himself in a few random places all night, but it is a terrific cross. This one, again, we've asked for something from Chamiti for months now. We've asked for him to at least contribute, and it's a very good cross. Fernandez, I think, is now our top scorer or joint top scorer with Tavernier. It said a lot about the rest of the attack when two defenders are up there, but right place, right time. Looked a decent finish. He keeps it down, gets his foot over it a little bit.
I think it went through the goalie's legs, maybe, did it? Or
maybe
did it deflect through? I don't know.
It goes in,
it's hard to see from here, but I think Chamiti had a good bit of play before it as well, actually, I remember. And then I think
that's when you called him R9, wasn't it?
I called him R9, yeah. I said it was like watching R9 there. He done some sort of like weird spin thing, and then I think we got a corner from it, and then from the corner he crossed it in. And yeah, Fernandez finding himself in the back post and becoming joint top goal scorer.
That's the thing. I know he's like 7 foot, so you imagine he's going to be a threat in the air, and he obviously is. But he showed there he's just as good with his feet. He's a massive threat for us, and if you've got a tool like that, use it.
Absolutely, yeah. It was a greatly timed run as well. Like, you know, you'd expect that from Chamiti. You know, like
again, no offside issues, no VAR issues, which is always refreshing.
Yep.
So 2-0 lead, and at that point, word came through that Motherwell had also made it 2-0.
Yeah, of course. Yeah, we'd got that information through.
Life was great, really enjoying ourselves, but in typical Rangers fashion, as I touched on,
we can't have it too nice.
No, I thought this is great. Oh wait, there it is. A VAR check again. I've not seen it back. If anyone in the comments,
I think if anyone can say if that was a penalty or not, because we didn't see anything really, to be honest.
Nope.
And there was no shouts from any St Mirren player. Sorry, there was no shouts or anything like that. That's how when we saw the on the screen for the VAR, we were a bit confused, you know, about what was going on. So I think it was a handball, was it?
I'm guessing.
Yeah.
It's in the action where I think Butland makes a save and then Tavernier heads it off the line. So it's not the Tav one, it's not Butland, obviously. I think it's what happens before that.
Yeah.
Again, let us know because I'm curious at this point. But it was a penalty. It was a strange one because I think we all thought up here, Butland will save this. I
had that thought in my head, yeah.
The form that he's been in most of the season,
yep.
I'll emphasise most of the season, he has saved a lot of penalties for us. In the way that, who was it that had it? Sorry, I've got the list in front of me. Marcus Fraser, I think it was. He goes up as if he's going to blast it. You just think, you're going down the middle here. Like, I can tell that from here. Butland is going to tell that from where he is, but it's a massive moment. If that goes 2-1 that early, you know, it's nervous, but it's huge from him.
It was, and the crowd got a big lift from that as well, and we got a big lift from that too. So it was a big moment in a big game, you know, and obviously it might be kind of one of the moments we look back at the end of the season, you know.
You're going to drop a season-defining cliche?
Tonight could be, like I say, what happened, you know, obviously with them and obviously our result today. Need to see what happens tomorrow with Hearts, but I think if we did get success this season, we look back to a night like tonight and think that could have been an important night in this, you know.
Absolutely. There's then a couple more subs, and this is when I touched on getting weaker with every sub. Suter and Schmidt come off, who have both said have had a really good night, really positive for both of them. For Danilo and Inciala, both give me the fear a little bit. Danilo doesn't go into tackles. Inciala is all right on the ball, but going up against a St Mirren team full of powerful, physical guys was a bit worrying. And to make it more worrying, St Mirren score a few minutes after that. It's a corner from right in front of us here. I thought it went out, I won't lie. Angle-wise, it's not perfectly aligned, so I can't tell, but it looked out for me. Swings in, Butler makes a good save again, but can't get the follow-up. I'm then terrified at 2-1. I'm sure you'll be the same.
Yeah, I kind of had that feeling of, oh, here we go, but we touched on Sunday that, this wasn't going to be an easy game. It never is here at this moment in time, it seems. So when they got that goal, it just kind of felt like normality to the season, and having to see out this game again, like we did at Hibs, like we did at the weekend there as well. So, but I must say, like, after that, they maybe had the ball in a few interesting positions, but they didn't really threaten, and you didn't really get the feeling of they're going to score a goal here. And it was probably similar to that of Motherwell at the weekend and Hibs when we beat them 1-0 too. Is they might have had a bit of the ball and we might have been a bit deep, but at no point did they really look like they were going to score, which is quite promising for us as well. Like defensively, to see out the moments it could come big at the end of the season as well. I
think it's one of those ones that in the moment in the stadium with the tension and how important a win would have been, or was, you just feel nervous. You feel scared every time they have the ball. But if we were to watch this back tomorrow, just like the Motherwell game,
you'd be like, that was comfy. That was fine.
My notes aren't the most reliable, as we've found out. But my only other note is that it was 4 minutes added and Diomande came off for Curtis.
Yep.
We actually really handled it well. I thought Max Aarons came on and I was a bit worried. But he won 2 or 3 fouls again right in front of us where just takes a sting out of things. Raskin won.
I thought Inciala done okay as well. I thought he won a few tackles that kind of took the pressure off a little bit too. I think just about going back to their goal as well, and maybe touching on Tav in terms of the build up to that corner.
And Butland, because Butland could just launch it, but he takes a touch, then a touch, then pass it to an under pressure Tav.
You were maybe thinking a foul for Tav. I didn't think so personally. I thought he lost the ball and went down after. But I think we said at that point as well, you want a bit of calm in these moments when you're 2-0 up, and that shouldn't come from your captain, I don't think. I know mistakes happen and stuff like that, but that's how they get the corner and that's how they score the goal as well. So I think we need, like I say, is Tav done in your opinion?
That's a big question to drop on someone. He shouldn't be starting as much as he's starting.
I'm thinking more ahead for the weekend. Would you go in with Sterling?
Yeah, all day.
Yeah,
all day.
Right back and then Fernandes. Yeah.
I don't want to see a back 5, but I expect to. Because the thing at Hearts, it was too cagey, it was too defensive, and we need to have some kind of attacking threat, knowing Celtic's defence. I don't think we're good enough to soak up pressure at Parkhead.
Went to a back 5 there, did we, at the end? Kind of like Max Aarons, maybe a bit higher, but do you think that's looking ahead to Celtic? Or
I think it's more just, and I've said it a few times, you look at that bench, Dowell's not going to come on. Matondo's not going to come on. Lyle Cameron, we know, isn't fancied by the manager. He's going to put on the guys that he at least has some trust in. And he seems to trust Max Aarons. And again, I said he won a few fouls, done his job well.
He had a horrendous shot that went about, might have went out for a throw-in,
Yes, but I don't care what he does at that end, as long as he keeps things tight
and
wins fouls here. Happy days. So there's a few options to do for the weekend, but just enjoy tonight before we stress about that.
Absolutely, yeah. Sure. Well, absolutely.
Yes. So again, that was us. Sort out pretty comfortably, just about. And obviously keeping an eye on the goings on at Motherwell, where Celtic lost. Therefore, we are now 3 points behind Celtic, 6 behind Hearts. If you offer us that after that Hearts game, we take that all day.
And that's now with no games in. Obviously, I think Hearts play tomorrow, don't they? Are they not on tomorrow?
Not on for
I thought they were playing tomorrow.
Yep.
So that's us just all up to date now. Then there's no game in hand or anything like that, right? Cool. Yeah. Well, that's interesting, isn't it? Because obviously, when Danny Rule took over, I would have never envisioned us to be in this position, really, to be honest, at this stage.
No. If you look at the last 5 games in the league, we're top of the form table. If you look at the last 10, we're top. look at last 15, we're joint to Hearts.
We
are in form somehow.
It hasn't been pretty. It hasn't been pretty, but to be honest, I would say this is what, I'd take it all day long. See all these 1-0s, as long as we're thereabout. We always said get to January close, yeah. And even now, you look ahead to Saturday, and even from there, if we find ourselves 6 points behind, it's still not a massive gap. It's still something that we can claw back, rather than, and even if they won tonight, more pressure going into there, we could have been 9 points behind them. So it's a big night.
And I think it's one of those nights we just have to try and enjoy, because there's been enough bad nights, there's been enough nights where you walk out of here wondering what's the point of all this, but tonight's one of those ones you think, be something. Be the catalyst to something. Get some new signings in, improve the team. A couple of players who I think, in my eyes, had no future here, such as your Chermitis, your Asgard, even John Suter, in a sort of strange backwards way. I didn't think he was going to last at the club much longer, given how he had been playing. But it's a really big performance from these guys tonight, and it's far from perfect. It's against a pretty poor St Mirren team in terms of the league positions and what they actually offered on the night. But to grind it out, get a win. How many Walter Smith teams would have had that exact performance and just won? Doesn't matter how, just win.
Went to many Walter Smith games, 2-0, cold, freezing cold, seen out wins, so I don't mind it, and it's kind of what you need as well, aren't you? You've got to just get through these games. Like we said before, just get yourself in a position. Now, that was the last game of 2025, wasn't it? So we just need to now look ahead, going to 2026, positive. Hopefully we can start it off on the front foot against them and then take it from there, really.
Win that game and it'll be delirious.
Absolutely, yeah.
Just looking at one of the tweets Rangers Twitter pages sent out, that's 7 of his last 8 penalties that Jack Butland has saved.
That's incredible, though. That really is. Like, when you think about it, in terms of, what is it, maybe 75% of penalties scored? Is that the XG on it? About 0.75. So, like, to save, what is it, 7
of the last 8.
8. That's incredible.
It was. So, we'll leave it on that happy note. A little bit shorter tonight, but
fingers.
We are freezing and the breath coming out the air coming out our breath.
Can't feel my fingers at all.
Yes, but we'll enjoy that. We'll be back on Thursday night. Lose track of days here.
Tuesday? Thursday.
Back on Thursday night to look back over this a little bit more in that more detail, but mainly looking ahead to the
wish
big game
everybody
on Saturday.
a happy new year as well.
Of course, yes. Have a happy new year. Enjoy the Rangers win. Have a little look at league table and start to believe that something.
And subscribe.
Obviously, yes. Subscribe, like, go follow us. Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, TikTok. Where else are we? Everywhere.
Everywhere, yeah.
Everywhere. All these likes, all these subscriptions, retweets, everything like that really does go a long way for helping the podcast grow, helping us do stuff like this. We've got a competition coming as well for the fair. Who are we playing next? You can tell how interested I am in the Europa League, but we do have competition tickets. Ludogorets, yes, in January for that game. We're all very excited for. So make sure you're subscribing and
it'll be a good one.
Posts. Yeah, can't wait for that one. Thanks for joining us, guys. As I say, enjoy your night, and we'll see you next time. Cheers.